Hi, welcome back to Herbal Bunny's Pharmacy. I'm Dr. Tamitha Davis. Today I want to talk to you guys about heart palpitations, heart arrhythmias, skipping heartbeats, PVCs or PACs, whatever you want to call them. I want to talk to you about what I believe is the actual cause of them. First, I want to make a disclaimer that this is just for educational purposes only, and if you're under the care of a primary care physician, please do seek their advice on any changes of medications or supplements and stuff that you're interested in doing to make sure that they're safe and right for you. Back in the 1900s, when I had first started to become a woman and getting my menstrual cycle, I had started to develop what I felt as my heart was skipping beats. And I got more anxiety. So at nighttime, for some reason, I would develop these panic attacks that would just bring me out of dead sleep, and my heart would be just pounding really hard. And certain times of the month, I wasn't really, paying attention as a child, paying attention when I would have the skipping sensation in my heart or my chest. So this went on for a number of years until my early 20s, when I had got married, and my husband at the time was in the military, and I spoke to a military doctor about it. They put me on beta blockers because they said my heart was fast, I had tachycardia. They put me on anxiety medication. I took that for a little while. I eventually came off of it. I didn't like how I felt, and I just kept dealing with this on and off, just like accepted that this was just my life. I would just have these panic attacks, these crazy arrhythmias and everything, and that was just my life, how it was going to be. Fast forward into my mid-30s, the heart palpitations became more frequent, the panic attacks became more frequent, and I got to the point where it was really affecting my life, where my whole life was revolved around these skipping beats. Now, people experience these, the skipping, the arrhythmias and things throughout their life. It's very common, it's pretty common, but they are so infrequent that we don't recognize them or realize that we're having them. They just, maybe it's like a skip or a flutter, and then that's it. And usually we're active and stuff. Most people are doing something and they don't pay attention, or they'll just feel the sensation and then it won't happen again for like months later. This was happening on a daily basis for me, and it would be an all-day occurrence, and it was affecting me physically, mentally, emotionally. I would just kind of became a hermit. My friends was like, hey, let's go do something, but I was just so terrified that I was going to have like some sort of a cardiac event, die of a heart attack, or you pass out or something, because when your heart's like doing these skipping beats or these irregular arrhythmias, it can affect how you feel, obviously, and it would feel like I was going to pass out. I would get shortness of breath. I had gone to numerous doctors, and their diagnosis came back anxiety. And I went to one doctor. He says, well, you're in perimenopause. So I've been in perimenopause my whole entire life, because I've been having these exact same symptoms. It's just gotten worse the older I've gotten. So that's when, around the time I started going into the schooling that I took to become a naturopath. And really the reason why I started that was to help myself, because I was hell-bound and determined to figure out what the heck was wrong with me, because the medications the doctors were giving me were not working at all. So in that journey, I had discovered that I was able to not only reverse everything, but to actually get the heart palpitations to go away completely, and the panic attacks were gone away completely, until I got pregnant. So about 2 or 3 years before I had conceived my son, as you all know, I just had a baby back in May of this year. I didn't have the anxiety that I was having, didn't have the heart palpitations, because I had figured out what was going on, and I had spoke about that in previous videos. You can go back and watch some of those, but I'm going to talk about some of those stuff here. So I go into more detail in other videos. But when I had gotten pregnant, I had noticed for the first few months that these heart palpitations started to come back. I started feeling the anxiety and the restlessness within inside. The other cool and exciting symptoms that I started having. And a few years ago, I was also diagnosed with POTS, which is also plays a key role in this. So that was another important thing I kind of missed out on. But I was diagnosed with POTS, which is posterior orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which means that my heart rate, is fast. And that's why they gave me a beta blocker, and my blood pressure would fluctuate. Sometimes it'd go up and go down within just a matter of minutes, and then it would do the total opposite within just a matter of minutes. And it was just really hard for me to do any standing. I get exhausted easily, and I was figuring, okay, I was low on iron, so I started taking iron. This is part of my healing journey that I started to do. Well, when I discovered that it was all my hormones, I started to balance them out. But okay, back to the pregnancy thing. So all those symptoms started to come back when I had got pregnant, and a light bulb kind of went off. I was like, you know what? This has to be hormonal. And I talked about that in my other videos, that I was believing that it was something hormonal, and now I'm even more convinced that it is hormonal, and it all makes sense. Your hormones is literally takes control of everything. You have a hormone that kicks in when you're going to sneeze, when you're yawning, when you're excited, when you're mad, angry, everything. Every function or body has a hormone attached to it. So, and obviously being pregnant, you have got crazy hormones. Some of the other things I had noticed once I got a few weeks, about 12 weeks into my pregnancy, that there was other things that was happening to my body that were for the better, that wasn't happening before I had got pregnant. For example, I had really bad dandruff before I had got pregnant. I was like, okay, I just got dry skin, the area we live in, dry, but whatever. I just kind of chalked it up to that. There's the corner of my nose is down here. I got like this crusty white flaky stuff in the corners of my nose. I just chalked that up to eating too much sugar. But when I had got pregnant, about that 12th week, all of that went away. My skin actually started clearing up, and I was like, okay, well, I'm taking a plant-based multivitamin, I'm cleaning up my diet. But after I had given birth, a lot of these things started to come back. The crusty stuff in the corner of my nose, my dandruff started coming back, and I wasn't doing anything any different. The only thing I wasn't doing was the herbal supplements that I had taken to help balance out my hormones, which some of those supplements I can't take right now because I'm breastfeeding. But this is just the aha moment, the confirmation that I needed that all of this is hormone related. So the heart palpitations, and it all makes sense. It really does. It makes a lot of sense, because women, when they get older, and this is when I was starting to get older, these symptoms started happening more frequently. But when we get older, our hormones are just really shifting on the downward, and we start having more anxiety, start having the hot flashes, start having nightmares, we start having the panic attacks and the restlessness and angry mood swings and things like that. So that is just confirmation that this is a hormone related issue, and it can happen in males too. We have so many things in our environment that is destroying our hormones. These are called endocrine disruptors, and there's things that can mimic estrogen, and there's men out there who have gynecomastia, which is man boobs, because their testosterone is switching over to estrogen, and everything is just getting out of whack. We have insulin resistance. All that plays a role in our sex hormones and our mood and our women's progesterone and our oxytocin, melatonin. All this stuff plays a role in our health and everything. And so when those are out of rhythm, especially the older we get and the worse diet we have, we start having these symptoms more frequently. And with women, as I was saying, as we get older, our hormones are decreasing. We are at higher risk for heart disease. We are higher risk for developing certain kinds of cancers, breast cancers, ovarian cancers. So it's very important for us to try to keep our hormones balanced. And this is what I teach on this channel, is that we need to get back into nature. Once we start getting back into nature, we start to understand things more. Once we understand our body, we'll be able to help heal it properly. So that's what I teach on this channel, and getting our bodies back into balance and living better. You know, that's our ultimate goal, you know, sleeping better, have more energy. And to be able to do that, we need to eliminate processed foods. I talk about that all the time. We need to eliminate a lot of the dairy. You know, we're not cows. I love cheese. Okay, I get it. I'm a huge fan of cheese, but it's just a condensed form of cow hormones, and we cannot process that because we're a different species. We really should have never been introduced to cow's milk, to be honest with you. Processed foods, we need to be getting back into nature, eliminating as much chemicals from our body as possible, switching up our shampoos, our air fresheners, laundry soap, cleaning products, opting out, not touching the receipts that we get from the grocery stores, not drinking from plastic water bottles. There's just so many things that we got to really focus on, because these are the things that are ruining our hormones. And hormone imbalances are starting to happen in younger and younger people. So there's even children that are starting periods early and earlier, like 6, 7, 8 years old. There's one of my friends, her neighbor's daughter started to her period, and she's like 9. I'm like, that is just way too young. And girls, you know, these teenage girls are just really just seem like they're overly developed, and boys are getting, you know, I remember in high school, well, in middle school, boys would start getting the deeper voice and stuff, but it's usually, you know, high school times is when that should be happening, but it's starting to happen in younger and younger. You know, there's 5th graders out there with facial hair. It's like, what the heck is going on? So we need to really focus on what we're putting in our bodies, what our kids are eating, you know, staying away from all the dyes and perfumes and chemicals and stuff that we're putting in and on our bodies. So anyway, I know I'm kind of rambling on. That was weird. Okay, sorry about that. There's road noise in the background, but I just heard something in my neighbor's yard, which is all woods. His whole backyard is woods. That's why I usually come out here, because it's a little bit quieter. But that's his backyard, and over there, it was like something big had just thud down and went that way, which is all woody, and I can't see over there, but yeah, it was just really creepy. Change my camera around here. Let me just take a little walk. I know this is not typically what I film on this channel, but yeah, it was like something had thud. Like, there's the bench in my neighbor's yard. And I'm recording mainly because if I see somebody over there, I can let my neighbor know that he has a person. But it was really weird because it sounded like... And now I'm hearing something else down here, which is at the very back of my property. Okay, that was a squirrel. Just jumped in a tree. But this was something loud. But, yeah. Anyway. Okay, so. Anyway. I'm creeping myself out here, so I'm going to end the video before I start jumping at every little thing that's falling from the trees. So hopefully that was not a person, it was just, I don't know, a squirrel or something. I mean, it sounded too big to be a squirrel, but maybe it was Bambi. We'll just say it was Bambi. It just makes me feel better. I think it was a deer. But anyway, so balancing our hormones, I'm going to continue to keep talking about this, and I'll go over like some herbal supplements that you can take to help balance out your hormones. What I was taking was Don Quai, Maca, Shatavari, and cramp bark, because I would get lots of cramps during my period, and it was just so awesome not to have all the craziness that was, you know, going on in my body for the last couple 2 or 3 years. I've had that free of that, so it's been really, really awesome. And I encourage you guys to do your research, and I'm going to continue to educate you guys on here on different supplements and herbs and eating healthy. And yeah, so I will make another video on my diet and go more into details about the supplements that I was taking. And yeah, I'm gonna go in because I'm a little freaked out. All right, you guys, go ahead, subscribe to the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video that hopefully I'll be putting out soon. Bye.